We survived our trip on the train from Lille to Lyon, and we've arrived, and we've ridden from the railway station to the river, and it's just beautiful. In Lille, it was already dark at 5 o'clock. It's now 5 o'clock here, and it's light, so we've got in front of the weather a little bit, and we've come across some French engineering safety. So here we are, the guardrail, so you don't fall down. It's beautiful, it's beautiful. We've just set off on our first ride, and we're riding between the towns of Lyon and Vienna. Just for that's where we're going to have our break. We've come 23 kilometers so far, and we've just crossed over the river. The bridge is just behind me. Up until now, it's been going through industrial areas on a fairly ordinary bike path. So it's on the road, and then it stops exactly where you need a bike path. It stops, and then it restarts. I call it an Australian bike path. So it's not really divided. A lot of it's on the road, and a lot of it just disappears. When we get across the bridge, we've turned into a dirt single track now, and we're going down alongside the river.
Well, this is technically the Canal de Deviation of the Rhône. So it's a little side canal that's like part of the river.
Yeah, but it's on the main route, so we're following the main route out of Lyon. So far, there's quite a lot of stuff online that says maybe you should give this a miss, and maybe you should give this a miss. This is Sunday, so it's not too bad, but I assume on the week, that road would have been pretty scary. It's pretty scary on a Sunday, so, you know, on a weekday, the traffic in Lyon seems over the top. So, yeah. It's a lovely day though, and definitely the weather's got better. Single track, and it's definitely up and down. It's quite slippery. It rained last night, so our tyres are pretty smooth, so it's a bit of a hard go. Here, PJ's going to say something. The Kraken.
This, at the moment, is definitely not a riverside cycling route.
You can't see the river.
You can see the river over the highway and the railway tracks, because we've had to climb a hill beside it, and we're nowhere near the water, and you can't really see it through the scrub much anyway. So
it's pleasant cycling, isn't it, PJ?
So it's all right. I mean, if you wanted to come through on a mountain bike and do lots of fun, but probably not if you're doing 1,000 kilometers.
Most people leave from Lyon, but you can actually start the ViaRhôna at Lake Geneva. If that's the case, it's about an 850 kilometre cycling route along the Rhône that ends at the Mediterranean Sea.
And we're in the sun. Okay, the Kraken and I have just arrived in Venice. You know, it's beautiful. We just rode past some Roman ruins where the bicycle path is. So there's quite extensive Roman ruins over there that have been excavated, and you can see them from next to the bike path. On the other side of the river, there's the ruins of a castle, and there's quite a lot of medieval architecture still around. Like there's a watchtower just behind me over there, and then right up on the hill there's a big church up there, and there's the castle up there on the top of the hill. So it's Sunday today, and we're struggling to find anywhere open so we can get lunch and dinner. So that's something to remember. On Sundays in Europe, it's hard to find things, especially after noon.
Okay, I've been learning to use clip-ons. Isaac coached me and Charles has been encouraging me, and I just went over for the first time. Hamish, I understand how you feel hitting the deck.
And she broke a bike.
Shocking. Yeah, Charlie's fixing the bike.
You can get a full GPS coordinates map of this route. I'll give you a link in the description, and that way you can map your route and plan it, because there are a couple of different options in terms of the way you make your way down this river. There's also a bicycle route planner that gives you detail about different stages and their difficulties and some of the activities that you can do. So we'll give you a link to that too.
You've got everything here, from wallpaper to snacks to kites.
We've arrived in our accommodation for tonight, and just before we arrived, we were running through the town, and they've got this big open air street market on. It's massive, and there's like lots of people here, and it's very much different than one in Australia. There's discos here, and there's drinking, and they've got everything from copper cures to really cheap clothes, and lots of food and drinking and everything right next to the river. And it's like everybody's here, everybody, and it's really great. I wish we'd known it was on, and then we wouldn't have bought dinner, but you could definitely eat here, and it's really lovely, and it's really great to go around and look at all the handicrafts.
My vote is for the first half of this section of the Rhône, the ViaRhôna, to go in the bin, unless they do some serious investment in cycling infrastructure and signage, because it's pretty poor. As for the second half, I can imagine if you're doing it in the morning, it would give you spectacular views on occasion. It's not as close to the water. It doesn't have as many water views as like the EuroVelo 15, for example, but you know, the tarmac overall is pretty good, and it's quite a nice ride. So if you'd like to do this, I really encourage you to do what many other people do, and we now see why, is skip that first section using the train and ride from there. You'll see beautiful views if you ride in the morning.
Okay, today ended up being around 70 kilometers. The first 15 kilometers was kind of not very good. It was on main roads and some bike path and some non-existent bike path. The next 10 kilometers was like single track and a bit challenging, so we can see what other people are saying about it. Then the rest of it was great. Like the rest of it was like fantastic. So about 8 kilometers before Vienna, the track gets really good and continues the whole way. And it's been a really great day's riding. And even those bits that, because it's Sunday, the road riding wasn't that bad. And the single track's interesting. It's challenging, but it's interesting, you know. So all in all, it was a great day on the bike, you know. And we're in this little medieval village at the moment, and it's really winding, very steep roads. So we ended up having to push the bikes the last 50 meters because the road gradient was ridiculous. You know, so other than that, we stayed on the bike the whole day, and it was really great. It was a really great day. And the river was just very tranquil. There was no breeze. The autumn leaves are falling, and sometimes they're like over the tops of the tires. One interesting thing that happened today, which was great, the Kraken fell off the bike. So she's riding with clip-ons for the first time, and I stopped, she stopped, and promptly fell off the bike and broke the front mud guard a little bit. But I'll let her tell you about that.
It just hurt a lot. And yeah, I think I complained at the time. So I don't think we need to say anything more about that other than the fact that... I told
her pride comes before a fall. She was going, oh, I'm not falling off with the
I was
clip-ons.
doing really well learning to use clip-ons after cycling for so many years without them, and then it all came a cropper.
Next time, we find a floating coffee shop on our way down the river.